If you love beautiful cars with big motors and the sound of a big block in the morning, you're going to love this car. So some of you may have seen this, but I just thought this vehicle in this early morning sunlight looked wonderful. This is my 72 Mark IV with the gold glamour metallic paint, which I admit when I bought it, I wasn't a huge fan of the color, but it really has grown on me, and it looks great in the sunlight, particularly at sundown or sunrise. And it's a very dramatic color on this car. 72 is the only year for the small bumpers front and rear. This one does have the bumper guard, which I may take off, although that will leave the bumper guard bumpers are actually different than the non-bumper guard bumpers, with the bumper guard bumpers having two holes to hold that bumper guard in place. And the interior doesn't get much more 70s than this brown leather. But let's start it up and take a listen to the sound of a big block in the morning. Any of you who have owned cars with this Autolite 4300 carburetor on them know it's tough to get them running right, but I finally got this one running wonderfully smooth. And I added dual exhaust to the car. All these came standard with single exhaust on the driver's side, but a big block V8 with single exhaust just doesn't seem right. And here's the car running in the garage. I'll be quiet so you can see how smooth running it is, and I'll just put the air cleaner wing nut on top of the carburetor stud so you can see how smooth it is. No wobble. Balance a coin on that motor without it falling over. And one more look at the inside. I keep this towel on here just to keep my sweat off the armrest. Not my favorite interior compared to the Mark III, but a nice one. And the corduroy or cavalry twill roof you quickly see there. And here's the dual exhaust setup that I had a shop custom add for me. What a wonderful, dramatic-looking vehicle. Love the sound of a big block in the morning. One more shot with the air cleaner off here. Notice the funky accelerator pump on these. And one other little fun tidbit of trivia, only on the 72 Mark IVs, you could get the opera window as an option. So almost all of the Mark IVs that you see have the opera window, like the car at the bottom left. It was an option in the first part of 1972. I think it was an $80-ish option. But the car actually you could get it without the opera window, here seen in the upper right picture from the brochure. And I've only seen two cars over the past decade that did not have the optional opera window in 1972. The opera window was very frequently ordered, and you can see the C-pillars on this car are pretty gosh darn chunky. And I'll tell you, remember these cars also didn't come standard with a passenger side outside rear view mirror. So between that chunky C-pillar and the lack of visibility there, also compounded by the lack of an outside rear view mirror on the passenger side, it's pretty tough to see out of the car. And I think that the option became so popular, it was later rolled in as standard equipment after, I think, even less than a year. But most people don't see or know that you could get that car without the opera window. And in fact, the opera window was optional only in 1972. One other little tidbit of design trivia on these Mark IVs. Take a look at the wheel cover here, and can anybody guess what the design inspiration was for the wheel cover? I will say it's going to be pretty humorous when you hear it, and I couldn't believe it, but I heard it from a Ford designer, and after I say it, it absolutely makes sense. Well, notice the center part of the wheel cover and its shape. the sort of hexagonal looking nut there? Well, the design inspiration for this wheel cover was actually the racing single lug nut wheels that they use in formula racing. So, they have one lug nut in the formula racing so they can get the wheel on and off very quickly. But to have that be the inspiration for what is arguably one of Ford's most marshmallowy cars, if you drive the Mark IV and compare it to even the Mark III or the other vehicles that Ford had of the time, like the full-size LTDs or Mercury Marquis, the Lincoln Mark IV is, I think, kind of the mushiest, most wallowy setup of maybe any Ford car that I've driven. It does have a rear stabilizer bar, but nonetheless, it just wallows all over the place in cornering and in anything other than straight line ride quality. That said, it is beautiful at providing a very soft, supple, smooth, unencumbered ride on normal roadways and a very pleasant experience. But I thought you'd enjoy that humorous little tidbit about these wheel covers as well as the opera windows. So the next time you see a Mark IV at a car show, make sure that you're not thinking about a smooth luxury cruiser, but your mind pivots toward formula racing. In any case, thanks for watching and take care. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments on content or video format, feel free to place them in the comment section or email me at rareclassiccars@yahoo.com for comments related to my videos or any leads or tips on low mileage classic cars that you might be aware of. Let me know what you like best about the channel, including full review videos, mechanical tidbits, design information. What would you like to hear more of? And while you're at it, please like and subscribe to this video. If you're interested in subscribing, you can click the circular icon with the 1967 Riviera that's now popping up at the top left of the screen. Also check out a recommended video at the bottom left, and then a Ford vehicle playlist at the bottom right. Thanks again for watching, and take care.